Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Startup Growth Podcast. I am your host, David Phillips, the founder and CEO at Fondo, and we have a very special guest for you today. We've got Jason Levin, the founder and CEO of Memelord Technologies. We're going to talk about his journey from data engineer to author, where he wrote a book called MEMES Make Millions, to now being the CEO and founder of Memelord Technologies, where thousands of companies, including HubSpot and Coinbase, are using his software to create memes that are getting billions and billions of eyeballs. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the episode. But before that, I want to tell you about my company, Fondo. At Fondo, we do accounting and taxes for over 1,000 startups. If you need help with the upcoming tax deadline, let Fondo take it off of your plate. And without further ado, let's get into the episode. Awesome, Jason. Would love to start with your origin story. What's the origin story of the Memelord?
All right. Origin story of the Memelord. So I've been making content since I was a kid, YouTube videos when I was like 11 or 12, learning Photoshop as well. Literally, if you look at my Facebook profile pictures from when I was in middle school, it's like the same thing, which is like me, cutting my face out, funny captions. I could even, I'll send them over, but they're literally like the same thing I'm doing now. And so I've always been in love with software and creative software in general. Whether it's Photoshop or Final Cut, whatever. It just took a while to figure out exactly how to make money doing that, right? How to make money as a creative on the internet. So went through a lot of different paths, writing, selling stickers online, until finally, about a year ago, I guess under a year ago, I was working with a lot of startup founders and realized, oh shit, like, maybe I could build software too. Like, you don't need to be a gigabrain Stanford PhD to build software. So I don't know. I finally I always thought I was too dumb to build software. And then I kind of realized I was like, oh, like I might be able to do it. So I built my own meme software and people use it for all sorts of stuff. Whether it's obviously memes, but also people make ads on it. People make viral videos. They even use it to take notes during ideas and come up with funny, thought diagrams and stuff. So really harkens back to my childhood of playing on the internet and creative software. And you could see that from the design, like the Windows 95, the goofy, logos and stuff like that. So it's been a long time coming.
Awesome. And, you also wrote a book on memes and meme culture, how memes impact business. And you kind of did it before anybody was paying attention. How did you come up with the idea for the book? And then what was your process to create the book?
Yeah, so I had the idea for the book a few years ago, and it was really first after talking to a couple meme lords who our Twitter friends probably know. Charlie Light is one of them, and I realized, oh my God, you can make millions with memes. And I had, I started making memes for brands and started getting paid for it. And I was doing a lot of ghostwriting at the time, and all of a sudden, all these founders wanted more memes and more humor, right? Because that's what's been getting attention. And, especially in the age of AI and ChatGPT BS, right? Unhinged memes stand out. So, I wrote the book. I came up with the idea. It's actually based on a J. Cole song. He has this lyric where he goes, some blank, some N-word make millions, some make memes. And basically the whole idea was to prove him wrong, that you could do both, make memes and millions. So
make memes and make millions.
Yeah, it's been a long journey and a lot of fun since then. And seeing ChatGPT come out, seeing all of this, and the combination of that plus a very big free speech movement as well has led my thesis and hypothesis to really accelerate and come true, where every brand is memeing, whether you're a luxury brand like Porsche or you're a startup like Fondo or Supabase or WAP or whoever. Everybody's posting memes and leaning into the humor, realizing that we're all just normal people. Everybody likes to laugh. I've had billionaires sign up for my software, and VCs and entrepreneurs and famous musicians or whatever. We're all just normal people who like to laugh on the internet, and we're all on here all the time. So,
yeah. How do you, what is that? Memes are relatable, right?
Yeah.
We like them. What is it about them that And a lot of people try to do this. A lot of people try to be funny. It's not easy to be funny, but what have you found is like, what goes through your head as you're creating this type of content? Like, what boxes do you try to check off before you post something?
Yeah, generally the number one thing is it about a problem that people in your niche solve or people in your niche face, right? So if you're a marketer, maybe that problem is data attribution, or maybe it's using meta ads, like the meta ad software is just terrible. If you're an accountant, there's a lot of Excel memes, right? If you're a founder, there's a lot of memes about VCs, right? Because chasing VCs or VCs being on vacation is the problem. So a lot of memes come from problems, really. At the end of the day, it's like humor comes from problems, I think, a lot of the time. And it's also a deep understanding of a niche, right? Like I say this in my book, it's like, if you tried to pay me $1 million to make a meme about hockey, like I can't do it. I literally can't. But like I could, I dream in memes of startups, VC and tech and marketing. Like it's just, I understand it. I'm deep in the subculture of it. So it really comes from like understanding the problems in your niche really, really deeply. I think anybody who really understands a niche deeply can do it. And there are memes to be made for any niche, whether it's accounting or tech or, even my cousin is in a subreddit with 100,000 people around hamsters, right? Because she's, 14 and has a hamster, right? So there's like online communities for anything, and there's memes to be made around the problems in each community.
That's interesting. And, I think it was Jerry Seinfeld who, like, his brain is thinking about a bit, like, in everything that happens in life. Yeah. Is that how your brain is with memes? Like, are you memeing every situation you're in?
Yeah, it happened when I was writing the book where, like, I started to think in memes, and, the template, like, will come in my head while I'm just sitting around kind of thing. And, it happens sometimes when I'm on the subway and bored and I just have like a smirk on my face. So I have like a very punchable face, I've been told, because I just am constantly smirking. And also during like any startup or VC event, like there's so many just, I guess, memes happening in front of you, like the VC on vacation, like the Patagonia vest. Like memes are based on true things, right? And so it's hard not to laugh sometimes. I think at the end of the day too, it comes from like being able to laugh at yourself. Like I meme myself all day and night because I know I'm absurd. I know I'm ridiculous, and like I can make fun of myself. I'm happy to do that. Like I tweeted, like once I figure out what APIs mean, it's over for y'all cracked engineers. Like I know I'm not the most cracked engineer. I could barely do anything. But like I work hard, and so it pays off generally.
Yeah. And so, okay, so throughout high school, through middle school, high school, college, you're doing a lot of startups, you're building different products, you're sort of finding success, selling things like stickers, making t-shirts. When did the meme book sort of come into play in that journey?
Yeah, so that was way after. That was after college, when I really started writing online more and diving into it. When I was in high school and middle school, or middle school, I started learning Photoshop, and then high school, I started monetizing it via stickers. Then in college, I was doing all sorts of stuff, from like a music blog, selling clothes, selling those stickers and clothes to sororities and frats and stuff. So, really only got into like the tech world after school, and got way deeper into it. So I was a bit late bloomer in the tech world, but still, I guess, still youngin', but making up for lost time. So
and so, okay, so then you dive into the tech world. You're a data engineer.
Yeah.
Are you still? Is this way before like memes were a thing?
Yeah,
like when did you start getting obsessed with growth?
Yeah, so I was really obsessed with like writing online or just like selling shit online, but I needed to pay rent. So I became a data engineer via Lambda School. Some of the listeners might remember that. And, I was very, very bad. So in the meanwhile, I was just like trying to like get jobs writing. And that's when I started ghostwriting for founders, VCs. And the second I was making more writing on the internet than the data engineer job, I just quit because it was just a way to pay rent basically. And like that was 2021. And then that's when I started like doing a bunch of meming and scheming for different companies. And I started making money to, make memes was around then. So it was around 2021, 2022 is when, first start really diving deep into the underground world of memes and writing that book, and then building the software into 2023 or 2024, now 2025, and it's growing quite fast and has been a lot of fun. If you want to talk any growth strategies, happy to talk about some of my favorite too.
Yeah, let's jump into that. Like,
Sweet.
What is I mean, it's amazing because if you look at your Twitter, it's like you have a ton of bangers, right? You have a ton of and they're all, it's great because every banger can point to Memelord, right? Yeah. And so it's this great growth loop of like engaging content, and it's also bottom of funnel for you. But would love to hear, what so you quit your job, you're ghostwriting, you're making good money doing that, you're making a bunch of memes, you're like, I'm going to build software to make my job easier.
Exactly.
And then how do you launch? Like, how did you get off the ground?
Yeah, so I started it with a newsletter actually called Memelord. So this is a cool hack that I recommend to like early software people is starting a newsletter. I just built it on Beehive totally for free and charged $6.9 a month for new meme templates every day. So when that hit around $1,000 a month just doing that, I was like, oh shit, like I'm on the precipice of something and I could really build a software on top of it. And so that was around August 2024. Then September, the software's ready. I'm on a retreat with the company I used to work for, and I'm just fed up, and I literally quit mid-retreat and launched the software the same day. And it's just been kind of an epic growth since then. So some of the best, some of the best growth hacks. Obviously, memes are great for me because of my product, but they obviously work for other ones too. Whether it's Fondo, where you drop Fondo underneath a viral meme, whether it's stuff like Momentic, they're an AI QA company, they drop their plug right under the meme, or it's Supabase or whatever it might be. Like any company can do it. It doesn't just have to be a meme marketing company. So that's one of my favorite hacks. And then number two that I really recommend for everybody, it's super scrappy, but it's writing guest posts. And so like every blogger, every newsletter writer needs a week off sometimes. I know this because I've been writing my newsletter 180 weeks straight, and every now and then I need a week off and I ask a friend to write the newsletter, right? And so if you're friends with people with big newsletters, if you just offer, hey, I would love to write a guest post sometime about blank in your niche, right? And then you plug your company. It's just a free, easy growth hack. All my growth has been all organic. I'm trying to learn paid ads, but I suck at it, honestly. I'm like very good at organic, but I suck at paid ads right now. So guest posts are huge. I've done them for HubSpot, Crunchbase, and all sorts of blogs. It's great SEO on top of that. So that would be one big growth hack. And then number two that I also, or I guess number three, because memes, guest posts. Number three is like super easy, but it's just cold DMs. And I really, and cold DMs changed my life completely. Took me from, like knowing no one to like, being in Silicon Valley and having fucking billionaires sign up for my software. That was from a cold email, right? And so, don't use AI, don't use any like spam stuff or hire a VA. Like personally, I really think just sending messages, that's how we met. And taking the extra time to do that, because that's how you build the real friendships and connections. So if you're just sitting on the subway, sitting on the toilet, just send some DMs. And
that's a great point.
Yeah, man, I really believe like that's how you build the lasting connections generally. So, all those are some nice free hacks that you can take advantage of. So
yeah, I would love to talk about the newsletter hack. So how do you break in? How do you break through the noise? I'm sure a lot of people would love to guest write for Crunchbase or HubSpot. But how do you get, like, what's your strategy to get people's attention
It took about 2 or 3 years to do that. So being persistent is one thing I'm quite good at. So I tried to write about me marketing for HubSpot in 2022. They said no. 2023, I check again. 2024, I check again. Finally, they say yes, and I get 3 posts done. And now they're pausing guest posts for whatever reason. So it's a timing thing, and something I find is just like in sales, like you just got to check in multiple times. Same thing with raising money. Like it's got to be the timing and the situation. So again, same thing with Crunchbase. I tried for like 2-3 years. But finally they said yes. So it really like comes down to a timing thing, being persistent. Nobody really knew my stuff, 2-3 years ago, and I was a little overly ambitious maybe. So, you got to wait a little bit. But be persistent and check in and keep messaging people, and they might have like a free spot. Generally, I know that's not like an easy hack to give you, but like literally, like I just had a list of like places I wanted to write guest posts, and every few months I would set a reminder to check in and just see, hey, you guys got any room? And I don't know, for me it means a lot as a writer. It makes me really happy to be able to write for those places. So I think like just doing the unscalable thing of being a human and checking in is so much better than buying some bullshit backlinks from India or whatever. Like, go do like the extra work, write a good post. And what's cool about it too is it's not just the SEO and it's not just their traffic that you get. You're able to then talk about it on LinkedIn, on Twitter. You're able to share it around. I literally had somebody at New York Magazine hit me up because they saw my post on HubSpot, right? Like crazy shit just starts to happen the more you get your work out there, especially on, some big sites like that.
That's a really good point. For people who are just getting started, or, there's a lot of, if you build it, they will come energy out there, right? Because you just don't know until you failed many times. But what do you say to people who like posted a few memes and get 0 likes?
Yeah, I would say just keep going. It's like it's a reps game where like I've posted so many that don't slap. You don't need every single one to go viral. A lot of the time it doesn't. You just gotta keep going with it. It's the same thing as anywhere else. Like I think I wrote like 30 long, pieces on Twitter before one really went viral. And like even now I have 35,000 followers. Not every piece goes viral. As you know, like it's not like a sure thing. Like even for, people like our friend like Chris Backey, like he has 200 something thousand followers. Not every post goes viral. Not every piece goes viral. It's really just a matter of like keep going, and don't focus on the numbers necessarily. Focus on did your meme make one person laugh? Did it make you laugh, right? Did your thread or did your blog, like, did one person learn something? Did you enjoy writing it, right? Like if you just keep going, focusing on the process and the reps rather than the results, like eventually it pays off. I have this piece that I wrote about failing on the internet for 10 plus years. Like, I wouldn't have been able to keep going if I was just doing it for the numbers or for pleasing somebody else. Like you really gotta do what you love with it. And a lot of people told me, don't post unhinged memes, don't be silly, just stick to serious. And I like being silly. I like being a goofball, and like I'm not going to stop just because somebody says that. So yeah.
I mean, and you mentioned over 100 weeks of doing your newsletter, like every week. How and you've grown on different mediums. You've grown your newsletter, you've grown your Twitter, now you're growing on Instagram. Like how did you approach that? I mean, how did you think about it, and how many times did you bang your head against the wall?
I still bang my head against the wall every day. Sorry, my dog can open doors. It's pretty insane. Give me one sec.
No worries. Do it.
And so, it's wild. You see his
what
tail
kind of dog
there.
you got? I can't see.
I got a black lab. Ron. All right.
Hey, buddy.
So definitely a lot of banging my head against the wall. So my advice is my advice for starting on any social media platform is start on the platform you feel most comfortable on. It doesn't matter where your customers are. Your customers are everywhere because the internet is huge at this point. That is my contrarian belief. Start on the platform you can't live without. I've been tweeting since I was 13, so it makes sense that I spend the most time on there because like I just love it, and that's like how my brain works, right? Like I don't understand TikTok. I don't even have it on my phone, right? And so that would be advice number one. What platform can't you live without? And then advice number two is either start on a text first medium or a video first medium. So you can transition over to both or over to the other one after you grow on the first. But it is like two completely separate sides of the brain to do text and video at the same time. So if you look at some of the best Twitter, LinkedIn creators, the Greg Eisenbergs or Sahil Blooms of the world, whatever, who have giant followings, they all start with text first, Twitter and LinkedIn, and then move to video, podcast, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It's two separate sides of the brain. And you see it vice versa as well. You see the video guys start moving over to writing, but it's so hard to do them both at the same time without a big team. Even with the big team, it's hard. And so I really recommend just focus on either text or video, whatever you feel more natural on. Personally, like I have a lot of bad days where I'm pretty sleepy, so I don't love video, but I'm trying to push myself and grow my Instagram and podcasts and stuff. But for me, it's always natural to be writing. So yeah, advice number one, do the platform you're most comfortable on. You can't live without. And, advice number two is either do text first or video first.
Mm-hmm. And what timeline do you like? How do you think about where to go deeper or when to stop or when to go harder? Like, how do you think about momentum and like what your goals are, or what they should be?
Yeah, I just think like keep going. I don't have a lot of people think I'm crazy when I say like I don't have, follower goals and stuff. Really, like at the end of the day, followers are generally kind of meaningless. Like I only care about money, man. Like like I want to see my MRR hit certain points. Like I don't give a shit if I have more followers or less. Like as long as the MRR is where I want it to be and like my bank account is looking fly. Like I don't really care about the followers. So like 10K followers on Twitter is worth like 100K on Instagram. So I think just doubling down on what really matters. Don't fall into the dick measuring contest of followers or subscribers or whatever. Like at the end of the day, like there's a lot of broke people out there with 1 million followers or 100,000 subscribers. And there's a lot of very, very wealthy people with 100 followers or 200 followers who just know how to grind and like know how to do cold email or something or paid ads. Like the follower game is kind of fake. I mean, I love doing it. I love the game of it. I love growing it. But at the end of the day, like the money talks. So follow wherever the money is on it.
Love it.
Yeah.
And so growing Memelord Technologies now, so you've built an audience on your newsletter. You've been extremely consistent with that. You've built a big following on Twitter. You've had a ton of really successful content, and you decide to make Memelord Technology software to help others make memes quickly and cost effectively. So what did that look like on day one, and how have you grown it since?
Yeah, so on day one, it looked like shit, like any MVP should. I don't know who says that, but like if you're not embarrassed, you're too late. Like looking back now 6 months later, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm a little embarrassed, but it's all good. Like I'm glad a lot of people signed up, and it's all good, and it's profitable, and I'm happy, and overall the business is cooking, so I'm quite happy. But right now, like you're able to do video, you're able to do images, Grok for AI captions, face swapping, which is pretty sick. A lot of people are having fun with that. So there's a ton you could do. We also just added SMS and Telegram alerts for new meme templates, and even follower tracking. Nice. So you could see your growth over time, which I personally really like as well. So there's a lot there. There's still a long ways to go. But I'm pretty happy with how it's going. Like, adding video was a big challenge. And just trying to coordinate everything. Like what would a pro plan look like? What would versus like the regular plan? Like, I don't know, man, but for me, it's been such a fun journey where like I don't know. It's building software is really like opens up a new part of your brain where like as a marketer, I was just thinking in like writing and shit like that. And now I think in UI and UX and like, I was on this founders retreat in Costa Rica with Tyler Dank from Beehive, and a bunch of us are on this boat, and it's after like 4 days of just grinding of like ideas or whatever. And I'm like trying to lay back. I'm like laying back, and all I see is onboarding flows. in my head. And I turned to one of the other guys. I'm like, dude, I'm thinking of onboarding flows. He's like, dude, I'm thinking of Zapier workflows. I'm like, oh God, we are such fucking nerds, you know? But
dude,
dude,
it's like that meme of the guy behind his desk, like wishing he was at the beach, and then the guy on the beach thinking about being at his desk.
Dude, it's so true. I was on the beach, just you can't escape it sometimes, you know? So
you can't, but that's how you know you're onto something. Like when you're thinking about it on the beach and you're excited about it, like dude, that's priceless.
Absolutely obsessed. Like super, super fun. And for me, some of the best parts have been just like talking with users as well and seeing the weird shit they've created. You know, like things that I could never imagine has been you know, pretty spectacular, being able to see like my weird idea get turned into 100 ideas. So I've been having fun.
Oh wow. And so do you track like or do you, I actually never thought of that. Like the people, your users are making money from your software.
Yeah.
And like going viral from you guys. Do you track that?
Yeah, so we loosely track it. We are talking about doing a data, and by we I mean myself, because you know it's solo founder. But talking to myself, like I want to do some more around data tracking. And that's kind of part of the reason why we're adding some of like the Twitter follower metrics in there, is like to be able to see some of that. But unfortunately, like there's only so much you could do with the API and with a small team,
right.
And so I need to start taking that a little more seriously around data, because I think that'd be pretty sick. But in general, like we have some ideas, and then we also like share a lot in our Slack channel, me and my employees, of like the wins for our clients and for our customers and stuff like that, where we're able to just see them, you know, winning, which is such a good feeling as well. So.
And how many impressions do you think Memelord customers have gotten?
Dude, billions
collectively.
Like billions.
Wow.
It definitely follows power law, where like
right.
You know, it's like anything else, like where maybe 5-10% get the most, right? Or even less. Because we have some accounts that are just absolutely fucking monsters. And then we have people who are just starting out. So yeah, I couldn't even tell you billions. Yeah, it's an insane number. Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. So you go from being 13 years old on Twitter to now your software gets billions of impressions every week. How do you value that? How did you come up with your pricing?
Dude, I mean, the pricing is just goofy. It's 6.9 per month for the regular, or 42 per month, 42.0 per month. Honestly, like, I just wanted a funny price. It's a meme software. A lot of people thought I was stupid for just doing 6.9 a month in the beginning, but I'm going to give you some alpha here, which is two things. One, if you're a new founder and it's your first software, charge a low price. That way you don't like make people's expectations insane. Like I knew there'd be bugs. I knew it wouldn't be perfect. So I'm not going to try to charge an insane price. Like I know it's not perfect. Number two, there's also something called a loss leader, right? Where somebody pays 6.9, but then they get in your, you know, newsletter, or you get to talk to them and you're just like giving it away almost for free, right? So it's just something to think about. And you could always add pro plans. You could increase prices, but don't be afraid of starting at a small price. It gets people like in the door, and in the beginning of startup world, whether you're VC backed or bootstrapped like myself, it's so important to get that early user feedback. Just get people using the product and understand how you can improve it and iterate as fast as possible. So yeah, start low. Keep expectations low when you have a shitty product at first, and gradually you can raise them over time, you know. Be realistic over here. Yeah.
What was the aha moment for you in these like three scenarios? So the first one is like, okay, you start ghostwriting. Like when were you like, how many customers did you have to make you be like, oh shit?
Yeah. So do you mean for memes or for like ghostwriting? I can make money for ghostwriting.
Ghostwriting to make money.
Yeah, I guess like my first 20K month, that was a big deal.
Wow.
Yeah, that was probably a couple years ago, 3 years ago. That was a big deal for sure. That was the big moment for ghostwriting. But that being said, like when you're ghostwriting, it's very, very tiring, very all consuming. So I would hit months where I was at 50K and above just by myself, right? But like I also wasn't sleeping, and I was also like on my honeymoon working, which is like a terrible way to start a marriage, like just saying. But like, so that was really one of the moments where I was like, oh fuck, like I need to go all in on software where like I'm making money sort of when I sleep, like I don't have clients demanding stuff at the same time. So ghostwriting, great way to learn when you're young and hungry, great way to like talk to founders, great way to learn a lot of stuff. But if you're looking for something with a little that being said, software still, like I have users hitting me up all the time too. So there's pluses and minuses to everything. Yeah, it's always positives and negatives. So
and okay, so and then what was the aha moment with Memelord Technologies of like how many signups were happening to where you were like, oh shit?
Well, I would say it was when I started the newsletter and I saw people you wouldn't expect do it.
Right, Meme Alerts, yeah.
Yeah, so Meme Alerts, just the newsletter. When I saw people like Lulu Maservi, right? She's one of the most respected PR people in the industry. When I saw like Bojan Tunges, right? He has like 200,000 followers, ex-NVIDIA, like, you know, one of the most cracked engineers, and like he's signing up. I'm like, oh, I'm not an idiot. Like this is actually like a unique idea. And then when I actually was building the software, I think the aha moments began when I began combining memes and basically like doing like AI background removal on one meme and combining them with others. And my wife like didn't understand at first. She's like, "Why are you combining?" I'm like, "No, trust me. Like this is art." You know, like this is cool. And now like people are doing that more and more. And then the face swaps, I wouldn't say like it was like a user moment, like a number of users or anything, but I would just say like, I don't know, when it really started helping me even more, I think that was a big moment where like I'm just cooking up a lot faster. And I don't know. I think, and also like with the Memelord Mafia, so you've probably seen on Twitter is like me and, you know, my employees, my team, some of my power users, like we have our badges, like all of us are cooking up together. So I think that was another big aha moment where it was like, oh shit, like we are onto something. This is a fucking movement. Like Elon just stole my meme. He just retweeted one of my like Memelord Mafia, like, holy shit, like this is cool. So yeah, it was a lot of aha moments put together.
Awesome. And you've also shipped like viral apps, you know. What are your thoughts, like Elon email? Like what are your thoughts on the whole world of vibe coding, viral apps, and how companies should or could use that? Yeah,
so I think that they are perfect for free tools and just like free silly SaaS. So I think like I have shipped free tools on top of Memelord, like a GigaChad meme generator, a Valentine's meme generator. Like free PDFs and ebooks are dead. Like it is 2025. Anybody could build software now in a few hours, even just a simple free tool. And so I think that is one of the best use cases for quote unquote vibe coding. I think, you know, as well as just like the time of iteration is so much faster where you could just build silly shit, and get to see it come true, which is like such a cool feeling to me, where you don't have to, you know, you don't have to go hire a team to go build something necessarily. You could just do it yourself, which to me is like somebody who's very self-reliant. I like control. I like doing my own thing. Like I like moving at my pace. It makes me really happy that I get to do that. So
very cool. You've also experimented with different offerings like, you know, a sort of ghostwriting service on top of your software. How do you think about that? And should people do that? Should more people do that? Yeah.
So I say I'm building the Palantir memes because we're doing services and software. So we have the software, but we also have memes as a service. So we have a bunch of startups on. My team delivers memes every single day to a bunch of startups. And I think that especially as a bootstrap founder, it's really helpful from a cash flow perspective. When the software isn't making too much, it's nice just for that cash flow bonus. But if you're VC backed, I wouldn't focus on it too much unless you're really trying to go like the services, you know, perspective, and it helps you build the software better. So like a lot of these circumstances, right? It's like we are making memes with these companies and we actually get to build the software better. Like I built features within Memelord where we could deliver the memes to them inside the app. And so that's the same thing. Like really, I learned that idea from Joe Lonsdale over at Palantir, where they would send these forward deployed ontological engineers or whatever bullshit term they use. But like they work really closely with the companies and you're able to learn and then build better software. So I think that is, if you're doing services, make sure it's in effort of the software, which is more scalable. Or just for the cash flow, which is pretty nice too. So
very nice.
Cash
very
is
nice.
king, you know? So
very nice.
man.
This has been amazing, Jason. I know, I know we're out of time, but I think we could do another episode if you'll ever come back.
Oh, dude, of course. And when you're in New York, I got to have you in person at the studio I got set up now. That'd be a lot of fun.
Would love it. Would love it.
Hell
Thanks,
yeah,
Jason. And so where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at I am Jason Levin, or my website, memelord.tech. That is where you can find all the memes and schemes. So check it out.
Love it. Thank you, Jason.